I've got a confession. I didn't watch all the game yesterday. For someone who likes to talk about the football, that's not really good, is it? So, I apologise. But you know, if you've watched my videos, you know, recently I've not been very well. I've got the man flu, and it's making me feel a bit ropey. But I also leave for work really early in the morning, and I'm not the sort of person who takes sick time. I mean, I'm 6 years in without a sick day, so I'm not about to give up my my efforts for work. So I went to bed. Got to 2-1. Went to bed. I just felt the game wasn't really going anywhere. I couldn't see us actually pulling anything back again. And to be fair, I thought Bayern looked really good. I thought they played really well. Their passing and their movement was excellent, and we were rather scrappy most of the game. So I took the opportunity to take myself off to bed so that I could get up nice and early in the morning and get myself to work. So I apologise. So I can't really be full-on objective about the game. I can only really talk about the team selection and up to it becoming sort of 2-1. So I think Jose was right. I think it was right to play some of the fringe players, some of the players that we need to give some minutes to see how they are and see what he can learn from them. And I think that was the important part of it. Let's see what he can learn. What are they bringing to the table? What are they bringing that's any different from what we've already got? The formation that we're playing at the moment's playing pretty well. So you know, that's working out okay. So it's worth having a look at players like Lo Celso, Sessegnon, Foyth, just to see what they're like, what they're bringing to it. Are they able to fill in for any of the other players when they're not available? You know, is that an option? And to be fair, I don't think any of them really did their chances much of a favour, to be honest. I thought young Ryan Sessegnon taking his goal was really good, under pressure, big game and all that. 19-year-old kid, took it really, really well against one of the best keepers in the world, to be fair, beating him at his near post. You know, very, very clinical. Really impressed with that. Thought that was a great piece of work by him. Foyth, my personal view, thought he did good. Thought he did okay. I like the lad. I think he's really good on the ball, and I do think that he is one for the future for the team. I'm still not convinced about him being played at a right back, but certainly in that position he played last night, where he was central defence. I thought he did really well. You know, he made some good tackles. He was calm on the ball. He's got a good touch. You know, I like him. I don't think he's the finished article yet. I think there's still work to do with him, but I do think there's, you know, he's one that should be nurtured and thought about longer term as part of the team as a longer term replacement, maybe. Excuse me. For Toby and Jan, I actually felt for Kyle Walker-Peters last night. You know, I'm a big fan, have been for a while. I think he's a good lad. He works really hard, up and down the wing and that. But he did have a great game yesterday. And I think a lot of that's probably due to the fact that he's just not playing. He's not had any opportunity, a bit rusty. I think he's obviously coming back from an injury, but his confidence must be a little bit low, having not played for a while. With a new manager coming in, and you know, if you're a right back and you're watching Serge Aurier in front of you, okay going forward but poor coming back, but still getting picked ahead of you, it must be a little bit, must narc you a little bit, I would. And if it doesn't, I'd be surprised, because, you know, we're only human, right? And you know, and he's just a young lad, and he must be looking at it thinking, I've not made them mistakes, I'm not doing stuff like that, so why can't I get into this team, you know? So I kind of feel a little bit for him, because again, he's another one I do think he's one for the future. I do feel he's a little bit slight in his build, not maybe commanding enough, but bear in mind, we're playing against one of the best teams in Europe, you know, and it was a full strength team from them, pretty much. So they weren't messing about, they wanted their 6 out of 6. So, you know, you can't really you can't really pull too much fault with the lads, you know. But for me, the more disappointing thing, I felt Lucas was poor. I know that he's being played out of position. He's being played as a centre forward, and that's not really his game. So I didn't quite understand that. I thought, well, why do we do? We know what we can get with Lucas. We know what he can do. We know what position he's been good in. So why are we trying to see what he's like in a different position? Because we've tried it before, hasn't really come off, and then that kind of builds in that inconsistency with the kid, and you know, it's not great for him. And I did feel that all the talk about Troy Parrott getting a run out, and I know he's only a 17-year-old kid, and there is a lot of weight on his shoulders, and maybe it's just the wrong time. Maybe Jose thinks he needs a bit more time in and around the squad before he kind of chucks him into a game like that. But with nothing to win and nothing to lose, kind of felt like it was set up for him. You know, bear in mind, you know, he did play in pre-season, and you know, he has played against this team before. So, you know, it might have been nice to kind of give him a run out and just see what he can do, because he is a striker. So when you're looking for a backup striker, why are we looking at a right winger, you know? But hey, you know, Jose's the guy getting £15 million a year. He knows what he's talking about, doesn't he? I'm guessing. So yeah, so a little bit disappointing. I don't think anyone really expected us to win, but I felt that we made a better account of ourselves. We didn't get ripped as badly as we have done in the previous game, but I think that's probably more to do with their killer instinct rather than us being that much better, or obviously a little bit more confident than we have been, but I don't think it's anything that we did particularly. I thought Gazzaniga had a decent game, a couple of opportunities that were sort of had a go at, and he managed to tip the ball over or keep the ball out and stuff. And you know, I like Gazzaniga. I think he's a good keeper. He's not let us down, to be fair. You know, bearing in mind when you've got a World Cup winning goalkeeper and he comes out of your team, lots of teams would struggle with that, but I think Gazzaniga has been constant. I think he's played pretty well. His distribution's really good. He was trying to get the attack on very quickly, playing the ball out, you know, longer and stuff. But again, if you're playing it out to Mora, really needs to be bang on accurate for it to actually give him a chance. You know, he's not a big bullying centre forward. He is a small, fast kind of player. So yeah, So all in all, not lots to say about the game because I, as I say, didn't watch it all. But it is what it is, isn't it? We weren't really gonna gain anything out of it, apart from maybe some knowledge about some players who haven't played very much lately. So ultimately, let's just hope that Jose has learned something that he didn't know maybe, or something that he thought he knew that's now been confirmed maybe. I don't know. He'll have his reasons for doing what he's done, and in time I'm sure all will be revealed. So look forward to the weekend against Wolves, which by the way is going to be a tough game. Wolves play decent football. They've got a really good support, really impressed with their support. When they came to Wembley last year, I thought they were fantastic. So let's see where it takes us. Hopefully I'll be fit and raring to go and able to talk without coughing over the weekend. Keep safe, everyone. Up the Spurs.